Moyer, Colleen Williams, Fritz Coleman weather, Fred Roggin sports on Southern California's #1 station for news, the Channel 4 News at 11.
Dozens of police officers from SWAT teams to K-9 units, a real show of force tonight as they search for a hiding suspect. It's the dramatic end to a wild shootout on the streets of Los Angeles. Good evening, everybody. It's 11 o'clock, and I'm Paul Moyer.
And I'm Colleen Williams.
We begin tonight with that shooting on the streets of L.A. An off-duty detective found himself on the job tonight when he confronted two people with guns. The officer opened fire, critically wounding one suspect. The other suspect, a teenager, is behind bars tonight, caught after an intensive search. Beverly White is live in South Central Los Angeles. She's got the latest. Beverly.
That's right, Paul. An unidentified man remains hospitalized, as you indicated, in critical condition, and a 15-year-old boy remains in custody at this station. This following a confrontation with the off-duty LAPD detective who confronted these young men at a South Central intersection. Vicente Lopez was outside this station around 5 p.m. when a volley of shots rang out from the alley near Florence and Broadway.
Yeah, I was pumping somebody's gas. Then I heard the noise and jumped right away in the ground.
What Lopez heard was no random gunfire. The LAPD confirms the shooter was an off-duty detective who spotted two armed men in the alley while driving by. One man reportedly pointed his gun at the detective, who got out of his car and identified himself, and then fired when the man failed to lower his weapon.
You feel the need to take action to defend your own life. That is well within our shooting policy. There were no other people in the alley.
That gunman was hit 3 times. After an extensive search of the area, his companion, a 15-year-old boy, was found hiding out in a nearby house. Some bystanders dispute the sequence of events.
He could have called back up. How you going to take it out in his own hands and something to just shoot? And then the police station right down the street, that ain't even going down.
Now, police tell us they recovered 2 items, a long-barreled pellet pistol and a BB gun. An investigation continues into what the 2 young men were doing at the time of this confrontation. Live outside the 77th Street station, I'm Beverly White. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Bev, thank you. Now a story that has been followed all over the world, the so-called evil twin trial in Santa Ana. Today, an emotional scene as the jury handed down guilty verdicts all across the board. Our Patrick Healy is live in Santa Ana right now, where the so-called evil twin is reportedly on a suicide watch tonight. Patrick?
Colleen, Paul, there is concern over the depth of her despondence. Jean Hahn had earlier told her cellmate she expected to be on her way to Beverly Hills. Instead, she's in jail facing a possible life sentence.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Jean Young Hahn, guilty of the crime conspiracy to commit murder.
Caught beneath an avalanche of guilty verdicts, Jean Hahn could not keep her composure. She now faces 25 or more years in prison, as do the 2 teenage boys she wanted to kill her twin.
She's in shock. She is crying right now, uncontrollably. She can't believe it.
Jean and her twin Sonny Hahn, only 23 years old, both blessed with extraordinary beauty, but beset by torments after their Korean mother sent them to America to grow up with relatives. The toll this has taken on Sonny was evident the day in court she arrived dazed and disheveled, mumbling about sleeping pills and wanting to kill herself. She had to be hospitalized. Sonny Hahn did not come back to court to see her twin convicted.
I don't know how twins act. I don't know how Sonny's feeling right now. I'm assuming she's feeling very bad for her sister.
Afterwards, jurors declined to comment, even to the trial lawyers.
The jury worked hard on this case. They were very conscientious and attentive. I know there were a lot of things to consider. They should feel very comfortable with their verdict. They made the right decision.
Jean Hahn and the 2 teenage boys due back mid-January for sentencing. Reporting live from the jail in Santa Ana, Patrick Healy, Channel 4 News. Paul and Colleen.
All right, Patrick, thank you for the live report. A former high school cheerleader is resting at home tonight after being sentenced to 6.5 years behind bars for masterminding a bank robbery. 20-year-old Elizabeth Maddox was escorted to a car tonight following her sentencing in Santa Ana. Maddox, her then-husband, and another man were convicted of robbing a Fullerton bank last February. Maddox will be formally sentenced on December the 3rd.
Paul, a tragic story near Palm Springs tonight, and one that has police mystified so far. 3 football coaches, all of them from the same high school, are dead following an accident on a deserted desert road early in the morning. Our David Cruz joins us right now with details and the latest on the investigation.
That's right, Colleen. A mystery in the darkness is what police are calling this tragic accident, and no one except those who died may ever know what happened. What were 3 coaches of this Cathedral City freshman football team doing early this morning when they were killed? It's a question teachers and students keep asking.
It has been all students from freshmen all the way through the senior class. Every student is truly impacted one way or another.
The accident happened at 3:30 this morning along a lonely stretch of road on the way from Desert Hot Springs. Investigators say the coaches died when their Jeep convertible rolled over several times. Police do not know if the coaches may have been drinking, but investigators found nearly a dozen beer cans strewn at the accident scene and are looking into whether alcohol was a factor.
We're all in a state of shock. In this kind of a situation, the principal needs to remain calm and supportive and help everyone else.
Today's tragedy only adds to the sense of loss at Cathedral High following 2 recent deaths after a football game.
They are just thoroughly devastated that such a close friend, positive role model, that they're gone. They're at a loss. Where do we go from here?
The force of the impact was so great, the driver's seat was ripped completely out of the vehicle with the coach still strapped in. A full investigation is expected to take 2 weeks. Paul, Colleen?
All right, David, thank you very much. We will now turn the corner here. The Magnificent Seven, those amazing septuplets holding their own tonight very well in a Des Moines hospital. In the meantime, donations are pouring in from all over the world, everything from a van to college scholarships. Chuck Henry's in studio tonight with the latest, including reaction from the proud papa. Chuck?
That's right. Thanks, Paul. Kenny McCoy talked with reporters for the first time since the birth of his 7 children, and he was asked if there were any plans for any more kids. McCoy threw up his hands and said, no, medically that's been taken care of.
Carlisle, Iowa, population 3,407. But it's the last 7 that everybody's talking about. And here's the proud father, Kenny McCoy. So how do you feel?
We're just ecstatic.
And here are the grandparents. When you saw all those babies, what did you think?
They have plump little cheeks and they're just so perfect, and they have all this hair and they're already starting to show different personalities.
At the hospital, doctors say,
we have extremely high expectations for them, and we think they will meet them.
With 7, you also get bills. The hospital bill alone is expected to soar to over $650,000.
Wow.
And the government estimates that to raise 7 children to age 18 will cost $761,000.
Wow.
The parents are going to need a lot of help, and that began today with a set of keys.
And here's the keys to the van.
The Chevy dealer that Kenny McCoy works for gave him the van, but with all those decals on the side, it seems more like a moving billboard. The McCoys will also be getting a new house, Pampers for life, 16 years of applesauce, free cable TV, college scholarships for each child, and of course that van.
Wow.
President Clinton called the proud parents today, and he said they would be the most watched parents in America for perhaps the next 18 years, and he invited the entire gang to the White House someday. Paul and Colleen?
Wow. Lots more coming up, including important information you need to know before your next visit to the hospital, how to be sure your HMO will pay.
Then this.
I'm going to jump off the 2nd story. Okay, don't jump unless you're in danger, okay? I can't breathe.
Dramatic 911 tape of a man trapped inside this raging house fire.
And more than 1,000 high school students suspended. Why one principal is in the middle of controversy tonight.
Jerry Seinfeld goes on record. What he has to say about critics of his program, you'll hear.
And they're making snow tonight at Big Bear. Yes. A different story for those of us here at sea level. My 5-day AccuWeather forecast is coming up. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning on NBC4 is made possible by the generous support of Robinson's May.
Later on an all-new Tonight Show, the controversy continues with Candace Bergen.
So great to go out on this kind of high, as it were.
Yeah. Plus, Mad City's Mia Kirshner, Yanni, Richard Simmons goes to Full Monty, and Jay visits those South Park kids.
Kenny wants to know if that's your real chin or if you had a silicone implant.
Then Conan's got George Wendt, and tomorrow Garth Brooks debuts a new song.
Introducing the new 1998 Lexus LS 400. Redesigned with sleeker lines, richer amenities, and with a far more potent 290 horsepower engine, it's now one of the fastest luxury sedans in its class. Its value is taking off at your Southern California Lexus dealer.
94.7 The Wave. Listen to Southern California's smooth jazz radio station. 94.7 The Wave.
The New York Times, Time Magazine, Rolling Stone, Los Angeles Times, Washington Post, USA Today, Siskel and Ebert, Entertainment Weekly, People Magazine. America's leading critics have fallen under the spell of Eve's Bayou. Roger Ebert raves. It's one of the very best films of the year. If it is not nominated for Academy Awards, then the Academy is not paying attention. Samuel L. Jackson, Lynn Whitfield. Eve's Bayou, rated R. Now playing at a theater near you.
Don't miss the biggest sale of the year at Robinson's May. The 16-hour sale this Friday and Saturday. Shop 8 a.m. to midnight both days at Robinson's May.
You are looking at a hospital emergency room. Most of us have been there at least once, but now many people are thinking twice about using emergency because their HMO may not pay the bills. There, of course, obviously is no way you can plan ahead for a medical emergency, and when seconds count, the last thing you want to be thinking about is whether your insurance will cover the bills. Here is what you need to know.
This woman rushed to the ER, thinking her baby had a broken arm.
As she got off the chair, she fell backwards.
Get X-ray in here, please.
As it turns out, the baby's arm was only sprained. So was it a real emergency? Some HMOs would say no.
So often, the determination for paying for the emergency room visit is the final diagnosis. So the emergency room doctor says it is only a muscle strain. The insurance may not cover it.
Deep breath and out. Good.
HMOs don't want people using the ER in non-emergency situations. But who gets to make that decision? For example, if you have chest pains and you go to the ER and it turns out only to be indigestion, your HMO may not pay the bill.
I have glass in my finger and it's infected.
An infected finger may not sound urgent. But Donna DePaulo called her primary care physician first, and his office told her to come to the ER. That's what most HMOs want you to do, but it doesn't always work.
Often they try to reach the doctor, and they can't. Or they get somebody who really doesn't know the situation at all, and they'll make the wrong decision.
Dr. Vincent Riccardi is president of American Medical Consumers, and he gets calls from patients whose HMOs rejected their ER bills, even though California law spells it out in black and white. The law says a health plan can deny payment only when the patient, quote, reasonably should have known that an emergency did not exist, close quote. But when you think about it, who can be reasonable in a medical emergency?
Whether or not there are actual laws already in place is not the point. It's not working the way it's supposed to.
The bottom line is to read and follow your own HMO's policy. And if your claim is denied, don't be afraid to file an appeal.
All right, you can help your chances of winning that appeal by keeping copies of every bill and every letter regarding your case. And I know it might be hard to do, but don't forget to write down the name and position of everybody you talk to at the hospital and also your HMO. Colleen?
All right, Paul. A dramatic 911 call for help as a landmark Hollywood home goes up in flames. This fire started early yesterday morning. 3 people living here were awakened by their barking dogs. One of them frantically dialed 911.
In my house. You have a what? A fire in my house. Where? Downstairs. All right, can you get out of the building? I'm trying. It's 2 stories. I'm going to jump off the 2nd story. Okay, don't jump unless you're in danger, okay? I can't breathe.
His name is Robert Patterson. Amazingly, he and his roommate jumped away from this fire 2 stories with only minor injuries.
All right, coming up, our weather, looking live from our camera in downtown Los Angeles. Fritz shows us what to expect coming up next.
But first tonight, one of LA's most popular restaurants open again. We'll tell you why health officials shut it down.
Also, a principal in the middle of a controversy tonight. Why she suspended more than 1,000 students.
And crunch time for the biggest college football game of the season here locally. Fred shows us how both sides are getting ready.
And what was Jerry Seinfeld thinking when he wrote tonight's backwards episode? We'll tell you coming up next.
Next time on a very special Rosie O'Donnell show.
People who need
Barbra Streisand. Next, Rosie.
Tomorrow at 4. Parties, dinners, holiday get-togethers, what to wear.
Everyone looks to Hollywood for direction.
We'll show you how you can wear Hollywood's hottest holiday colors and sassiest styles. Just for you, tomorrow at 4, only on the Channel 4 News.
It's famous for hushing highways and reducing wind to a whisper. It's as comfortable and quiet as you want it to be. It's steering wheel mounted audio controls that let you live your life like a movie and score your own soundtrack. It's a 210 horsepower performance, and you've got front row seats. It's the RL from Acura, the true definition of luxury. Yours.
Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil is a mystery laced with class and sass, says Gene Shalit.
They're trying to put our friend away for life.
Razor-sharp performances by Kevin Spacey and John Cusack.
This place is fantastic.
And masterful direction by Clint Eastwood.
Welcome to Savannah.
Academy Award winner Kevin Spacey. John Cusack.
True story and deliciously evil, don't you think?
Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, directed by Clint Eastwood. Rated R. Starts Friday, November 21st at a theater near you.
This is Imagine TV.
While Bob drew the bear's attention, I waited in the safety of my Mercury.
New lights, camera, and plenty of action. It's the powerful 98 Mercury Mountaineer, loaded for bear with available all-wheel drive. Come in now and get a low 2.9% APR for up to 36 months on a rugged yet comfortable Mountaineer.
The bear wasn't hungry anymore, but I could no longer call Bob my right-hand man.
Till next time, imagine yourself in a Mercury.
NBC4 thanks ARCO for their generous support of the NBC4 WeatherNet.
It is a landmark Los Angeles restaurant, and tonight Jerry's Famous Deli in Studio City is back in business. Yesterday, the health department shut down this restaurant for code violations. But the 24-hour deli on Ventura Boulevard reopened late this afternoon. The deli was cited because its refrigerators were not cold enough to prevent possible food contamination. But the owner says everything has now been fixed, and once again, the deli's regulars are enjoying corned beef on rye and a little pastrami tonight.
And what a night to have pastrami, isn't it? I have no idea why, but it is. Fritz, look into the weekend.
Okay.
Here he is.
Oh, we're rooting for Jerry's. Hey, we have gusty canyon winds tonight. We have a little offshore flow. Let's check one of our WeatherNet sites in a wind-prone area up there in the Porter Ranch area, Castle Bay Lane Elementary School. Winds are out of the north about 15 miles an hour. Things are firing up. May not exceed 30 when it's through. 58 degrees up there right now. We have some interesting weather conditions going on just to the north of us over the weekend. I want to show you the far western view of our satellite picture. Look at the moisture involved in this enormous storm. This is going to be 100-mile-an-hour winds along the coast of Washington and Oregon over the weekend, and possibly 2 inches of rain as close to us as the Bay Area. We're going to catch the bottom side of that storm. Some of our northern viewing areas like Ventura and Santa Barbara County may in fact catch a shower. Most of the worst of the moisture ought to stay north of San Luis Obispo. As we look at the 3D loop right here, you can see how close some of this moisture is going to be. So latter part of the weekend, we'll know more concrete facts about this tomorrow. Latter part of the weekend, we have a shot at some moisture, at least in a third of our area. But in the meantime, comfortable, lovely fall weather and slightly warmer tomorrow. This dry, warm offshore flow with some of the canyon winds tonight may in fact kick our temperatures up to 80 or slightly above in some spots. Sunny with some clouds tomorrow, slightly more clouds on Saturday, and then late Sunday into Monday, that rain chance moves closer. Generally, we don't expect to have a shower chance much south of our northern areas. Upper 40s overnight, inland, low 50s. On the west side, 22 degrees up in the San Bernardino Mountains where they're cranking snow tonight. Yes. San Gabriel Valley, about 80 degrees for a high tomorrow. 77 in Ontario. Riverside, 76. Palm Desert and Palm Springs, about 75. 79 here in Burbank. Air quality will have moderate smog levels tomorrow, slightly worse than we've seen. High Desert, however, and Big Bear and Banning all getting good air. And here is your 5-day forecast. Tomorrow, the warmest day at 78. Then we cool down with the return of a stagnant and then an onshore flow. Late Sunday into Monday, a little bit of a shower chance. I hope this isn't your taxes or anything. I moved it off my seat.
No, that's only page 21T, and we've already done it. Don't worry about a thing. Okay. You too, man. You see it right here every Thursday night on NBC4, Seinfeld. Jerry says the key to maintaining quality control is never being afraid to try something different. Boy, did they do that tonight. Conan Nolan's here with a behind-the-scenes look. Conan.
Well, Paul, Jerry Seinfeld calls it a dopey show about 4 idiots. Perhaps. But Seinfeld episodes are the subject of plenty of conversations over the water cooler Friday morning. The cast will take some of the credit for that, but not all of it.
The set of Jerry's apartment.
For Michael Richards,
It's like a carpenter having the materials he needs to build a house.
Cat.
Ouch!
Julia Louis-Dreyfus will be happy to take credit for the slapstick, but as for quality dialogue...
We would have been canceled years and years and years ago. And we don't write. We don't know what we're doing.
But we were lucky in that.
And Jason Alexander, he sometimes simply shakes his head.
These things come to the table every week and we go, wow, they did it again.
It's an ensemble cast which collects every Thursday night here in Jerry Seinfeld's apartment. They are very good comedic actors. They've won lots of Emmy Awards. But each one of them will tell you the foundation for the success of Seinfeld is the writing.
There's nothing happening here. It's just this guy lives here. That's the premise. And these are some people that he knows. So you've got to make a lot happen. So that's why the writing is the key to it. And people have come to expect a certain inventiveness from us.
No.
Who cares?
Who cares? Why am I having trouble with that? Who cares? It's all ancient.
Nobody cares. It's ancient history.
Wait, let me talk to Christine about lines, because you keep feeding me the wrong one. What is it?
That is not true.
Take, for example, tonight's first ever sitcom episode told backwards.
Nobody else would even try to do it. So, because it's crazy. And we're one of the few people that can actually do their job backwards. Garbage men, funeral directors, there's no way that these people can work backwards. But we can, so we took the opportunity.
And it's been suggested that this episode was for those TV critics who claim the show isn't as amusing as it once was.
We went through this before. We went through this in 93, 94. Everybody wrote the show's no good anymore. What happened to that? Remember the stories that I was getting married? Remember that story? What happened to that? Remember all those stories that I was going to get married and I was engaged? What happened? Same critics.
Jerry Seinfeld says he will decide in the next month whether to come back for a 10th season. Paul, Colleen.
Has it been that many?
Oh, yeah.
10 seasons. All right, Conan, thank you. Coming up right here, a principal suspends 1,200 students. We'll show you why.
Then is Michael, ready to be a dad again? Oh, details coming up.
Also coming up, high-scoring Kings live up to their name, a milestone for a former Laker. Trojans rally to beat the Bruins. And the Hawks, fighting mad, going for their 12th straight win of the season.
Did you get married today? What if you did? How can we help with the next 50 years? Bank of America, put your future in motion.
This is one act you gotta see. She's one of a kind.
We'll see.
You're gonna thank me. Crowd loves her.
We'll see.
You all set, Mitzi?
Max, ask him.
You do have Delta Dental, right?
Of course.
Oh, okay, hit it, Mitzi.
No one protects you like Delta Dental.
She's good.
We have a plan to keep you smiling.
You like power? Then mosey on down to Orchard's Tool Corral and fire up one of these puppies. You'll find the right tool for every job right here. Count on it. Orchard, complete hardware and garden.
Now at Orchard, save $4 on the Black & Decker quarter sheet palm grip sander, now $29.99. And save $1 on the Stanley 1-inch by 25-foot Power Lock tape measure, now just $8.99. Orchard, one-stop holiday shopping.
Now, Southern California is beautiful this time of year, especially at your Ford dealer.
Where he's got a question for you. What does a Mustang, a Taurus, a Ranger, and an Explorer have in common? 2.9% APR for 48 months. That's 4 full years on a 97. 2.9 on 4 of the most popular vehicles Ford makes. Mustang, Taurus, Ranger, and Explorer. 4 bestsellers, 1 low APR. When it comes to a great deal, all Fords have something in common.
Did you move today? What if you did? How can we help you get settled? Bank of America. Put your future in motion.
There are cheers and jeers tonight for a high school principal who laid down the law with a heavy hand. He suspended 1,200 kids. Tonight, students and parents at this Baltimore high school are stunned. The trouble started when most of the students skipped out of a special homeroom. It was enough to send the principal over the edge.
And I said to them, no, we're going back to class, and you're going to clear this hall. They refused to do it by chanting, hell no, we won't go.
Well, apparently that did it. The suspension letters arrived in the mail today. Tonight, most parents are furious, But some are speaking out saying it was the right thing to do.
All right, Fred's got sports tonight. We lead with the Kings.
Here we go. High-scoring and surprising Kings hosted the Blackhawks at the Forum, a place where Chicago had won 6 of the last 7 meetings. Dodger catcher Mike Piazza, one of 17,000 at the Forum tonight. First period, no score. Stefan Fiset with one of his 18 saves on the night, and that started the Kings' break. Vladimir Siplikov skating in, pass to Yannick Perreault, who deflected it off the defender's leg, right to Glenn Murray, who beat Jeff Hackett for the score. Kings up 1-0. Still in the first, Ian LaPerriere pulled the trigger from the blue line, scored his 3rd of the year. The Kings led it 3-1. Second period, Kings leading 3-2. Rob Blake fired, puck shot into the air. Blake there to knock it in for his 3rd of the season. Kings won 4-3. They're 7-3-1 in their last 11 games. Elsewhere, Buffalo and Pittsburgh won, as did Calgary and San Jose. New Jersey and Edmonton won. Vancouver over Phoenix. Sizzling 10-0 Lakers off until Sunday when they host the deep-fried 1-10 Clippers. In Atlanta, Lenny Wilkins and the 11-0 Hawks trying to make it 12 straight, taking on the Knicks. A couple of heavyweights on hand like champ Evander Holyfield and Spike Lee, who flew in from New York. The game, all Knicks. First half, Patrick Ewing, round and round it goes. And it rolled in for 2 of his 18. Knicks by 10. Second half, Charles Oakley receiving a little soul from the foot of Cadillac Anderson. Smack right in the kisser. Oakley hit the deck, then wanted to bend Cadillac's grill. No harm, no foul. The Knicks won it 100-79. The Hawks streak is snapped. Lakers the only unbeaten club in the NBA. Memorable night at Reunion Arena in Dallas. Mavs forward AC Green set a new NBA record by appearing in his 907th straight game. After the jump ball, Green was given the game ball. That's a record that might not be broken for a very long time. Green congratulated by his family and given a special ceremony at halftime. Mavs hosting the Warriors, and AC got into the scoring trend, laying in 2 of his 7. This one would go into overtime, and that is when Latrell Sprewell took over, scoring 6 of his 28 in the OT. The 0-9 Warriors picked up their first win of the season, 101-97. Rounding it out, Blazers and Rockets won. Pacers over the Bucks. Bulls 6-5. They play the Clippers tomorrow. Kings over the Jazz. Isaiah Thomas resigned as GM of the Toronto Raptors to become NBC's top basketball analyst and to work for CNBC. Combined, $2 million a year. Welcome to NBC. Baseball, the Angels acquired former Fullerton standout Phil Nevin and catcher Matt Wahlbeck from the Tigers for a minor league pitcher. And the Braves signed first baseman Andres Galarraga, the Big Cat, to a 3-year deal. In Torrance high school football game of the week, CIF playoffs between Peninsula and Canyon. First half, Peninsula in the dark jerseys, tied at 7. Cabot Denny took the handoff, did the rest. 63 yards for the touchdown, put on some nice moves at the end. The game was a rout. The Peninsula Cowboys advanced and improved to 11-0 on the season, 52-25 to final. College hoops, Northridge lost to Oregon State 91-79. College football, TCU over SMU 21-18. Meantime, a huge crowd on the campus of USC tonight for the annual Beat UCLA rally. That's right, the USC Song Girls and the Trojan Marching Band in full form at the rally. This one complete with fireworks, and the only Bruins there swung on a rope. USC has lost 6 straight against UCLA. The Trojans would like nothing better than to break that streak and keep UCLA out of the Rose Bowl. We'll see Saturday. At the UCLA campus this afternoon, the hijinks continued for Saturday's big game. A Bruin bash held today.
It's Colleen's car.
The sledgehammer, a USC Trojan car. To our knowledge, it was not the vehicle owned by SC Athletic Director Mike Garrett or Colleen Williams. Once all the bashing was done, one student took home first prize, a steering wheel. UCLA about a 9.5-point favorite in the game.
You know, I knew I was missing something out there tonight. Coming up right here.
Is the King of Pop expecting another baby? Details coming up next.
Channel 4 Sports is sponsored by GM Bi-Power. Things just got easier.
These are some of our newest showrooms. Places where people can check out our latest cars and trucks, find what they're looking for, and then have it ready and waiting at a nearby dealer. Now, while lots of companies talk about making it easy to buy a car, we think our new website really brings the concept home. GM Bi-Power. Things just got easier.
Broadway LA announces Dreamgirls, a recreation of the dazzling and acclaimed Broadway musical. Dreamgirls opens December 2nd at the Wilshire Theater. For tickets, call 213-365-3500.
Home Depot has like 5 stores in one. People come in and they say, oh, wow. I mean,
this is not a little hardware store. We only have 5 of one type of thing. We have 100 of one type of thing.
Everything that a house could ask for is in this store.
Do we have tools?
Half my paycheck goes to this place.
So you can get all this stuff here at Home Depot.
There's nothing like Home Depot. Nothing.
Look for Titan's handle sets and door locks with a lifetime finish that won't tarnish, fade, or peel. They're at the guaranteed low price every day at the Home Depot.
You'll always find guaranteed low prices at Circuit City. And right now, save even more with special price breaks. Hurry in for price breaks on Sony camcorders. Save $50 on this Sony 8mm, just $449.99. This RCA 36-inch stereo TV is just $999.99 after $100 price break. And this Toshiba 900 megahertz cordless phone is just $79.99 after $10 price break. Now at Circuit City.
It's kind of like an Italian suit. It's kind of like a French bikini. The new 1998 i30. Lease the i30 for $399 a month for 39 months with $12.99 initial payment. Own one and you'll understand.
Is the king of pop getting ready to be a papa again? Well, maybe. Michael Jackson appears on the cover of the newest issue of Life magazine. He is holding his 9-month-old son, Prince Michael Joseph Jackson Jr. Inside, Jackson hints that he and his wife, Debbie Rowe, are expecting baby number 2. He also reveals that his son's godparents are Elizabeth Taylor and Macaulay Culkin.
That's it for us tonight. Don't forget, today in LA at 5:36 and 6:30 a.m.
Now stay tuned for the #1 late-night talk show, Jay Leno, Tonight Show, and Tonight Jay welcomes
Candace Bergen, Mia Kirshner, and Yanni.
Bye-bye.
Tomorrow on Today in LA.